What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And this is another wrestling news video where I'm going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Wrestle Talk article on March 24th, 2024. And yeah, and let's start off on today's wrestling news video with WWE is now re-signed with AEW. And it says right here, WWE legend Jake Roberts has announced he's been re-signed by AEW and will be. Roberts made the announcement on his Snake Pit podcast. Like the episode hasn't been fully released yet, but SC Scoops quotes Roberts as saying as like like well folks, just to let you know, you're gonna be looking at me on AEW for another year. And then he continued, that's right, they re-signed me, so that's great news. Looking forward to doing it. Roberts been in AEW since 2020 in an angle with current WWE star now returning to that company, Cody Rhodes, which led to Roberts being Lance Archer's manager. Although Archer is rarely used on AEW TV nowadays, Roberts is still in that role, and recently introduced the Righteous to form the something of a trio with Lance Archer as well. He also teased pitching at a revamp of the Snake Pit talk show segment for AEW TV. Despite being with AEW for several years now, Roberts still appears in the WWE 2K video games. He was introduced into the Hall of Fame a decade ago in 2014. We'll keep you posted for further updates. But what are your thoughts on Jake Roberts finally re-signed with AEW? And what are your thoughts of him saying it on his Snake Pit podcast, a little sneak peek of his future episode of his YouTube show, I believe it's on, or wherever he does his streaming at. Let me know in the comments down below, and and let me know also if it's a good idea to for him to announce it on his Snake Pit podcast talk show, or not just the talk show. They just called it the Snake Pit podcast. And speaking of talk show, do you think that it should be featured on AEW television from time to time? Let me know down below. And Logan Paul did made his impulsive podcast. I didn't one time he did that like on an episode of SmackDown one time. I'm not sure exactly, but if he did, I'll say that was a genius move, and I think Jake Roberts should do the same, just to have something entertaining for him and Lance Archer and perhaps the Righteous, if they're going to stay as a full-time stablemates for the Murder Hawk Monster, and have Jake Roberts playing their manager or advocate or whatever they will call him. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see if Jake Roberts will when he's gonna be staying around for we're gonna have to wait and see if he's gonna stay around for another for just one more year, And what do you think is going to happen next as soon as his contract ends by then? Also, let me know about that down below. Which perhaps we could see him, fully be retired even as an on-screen character, or we could see him have one more run in another company that's in the other side of the pond. But I'm not sure if that will happen. But yeah, this remains to be seen. Like what's next for Jake Roberts, now that he resigned and he's continuing to be all elite. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. We got some Roman Reigns hits a huge WWE milestone ahead of WrestleMania 40. The current WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, has passed another huge title milestone ahead of WWE WrestleMania 40. Roman Reigns has established himself as the most dominant WWE champion of the modern era, with the multi-year world title reign. Tribal Chief won the WWE Universal Championship in August 2020, defeating The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Braun Strowman, become the new champion at that year's Payback pay-per-view. Reigns dominated the competition like on SmackDown before SmackDown before unifying the Universal title with the WWE title at WrestleMania 38. In 2022, Roman Reigns has now hit a new milestone with his Universal Championship reign, reaching 1,300 days as champion. The WWE Universal Champion last defended his gold at the Royal Rumble in a four-way match in January at the Royal Rumble Premium Live event against AJ Styles, LA Knight, and Randy Orton, which he defeated. Reigns is set to compete in two matches at WrestleMania 40 in April. The Tribal Chief will first team with his cousin The Rock to face off against Cody Rhodes and the current World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Following this, Reigns will defend his WWE Undisputed Universal title against Royal Rumble 2024 winner Cody Rhodes. And what are your thoughts on to Roman Reigns surpassing 1,300 days as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion? And do you think that those numbers are going to be getting more higher and higher until he passes Hogan's record? Or do you think that they're going to finally have him drop the title, being, I'll say, the fourth ever wrestler to have the longest championship title reign in WWE history? Let me know in the comments down below. But some just tells me they don't even care. For even though like Hulk Hogan has much more of a longer title reign, but like none of that matters. When it's gonna tell a story, but Cody needs to finish his, and Roman Reigns had such a successful run as champion for the last 4 years, and I don't think he's going to hold that title for so long, especially like if they're trying to have things build up for The Rock, for The Rock to fight him at the following year's WrestleMania. Even though there was plans like for The Rock coming back, he was supposed to be facing Roman instead of Cody. But I'll say blame WWE for letting them have the title for about 1,100 days until until they for 1100 days until until the next year, or else they probably would have the match this year in the 40th anniversary show, which that would be perfect. But none of that matters now because there's always the next year, and then they need to finish things off with where they started between the American Nightmare and the Tribal Chief. But I'm not sure even if Cody Rhodes will indeed finish his story. But if he does, it will be the most exciting thing, anything ever happened in recent years in WWE. Which that would be a big deal. Just like Gunther, somebody dethrones the ring general, they're gonna be known as a big deal. Like being the guy that could be able to dethrone the longest reigning champion, just like the damn near longest reigning WWE champion right here. But let's hope we get stories that's been finished by the underdog baby faces, like in this storyline, so they won't leave the show of shows empty handed. Excuse me. But anyway, well, yeah, we're gonna we're gonna see this right away. We're gonna see the Rhodes versus Reigns match in 14 days from now, actually, because the next 2 weeks will be the night two event of WrestleMania 4. Yeah, WrestleMania 40 will be night two because it'll be WrestleMania Sunday on April 7th. And yeah, let me know in the comments right down below if you think Roman's gonna win or Cody's gonna win. Let's hope this will be the final last time I even ask this question. I need to stop even asking. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if this is an impressive numbers, like of him surpassing another milestone up to 1,300, which I thought he was already on his way to 1,400. Well, I guess I was mistaken. I guess that's probably not until in the next couple months if he can retain this championship against the American Nightmare, because we're not sure like what could happen in the next couple weeks. Like if he's gonna remain champion or we're gonna see a new undisputed WWE Universal Champion. And that man could be the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. And that is I'm talking about from one wrestling pay-per-view to another in April, which this is from AEW. Which is some AEW Dynasty news. Now, as a major star confirms he won't main event Dynasty pay-per-view. An interesting update has emerged on plans that for Will Ospreay and versus Bryan Danielson at the upcoming AEW Dynasty pay-per-view. Will Ospreay has hit the ground running since becoming a full-time AEW star. Defending, defeating Konosuke Takeshita at AEW Evolution pay-per-view, setting up his next dream match. And it says right here, the British star is now slated to step into the ring with Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynasty in a clash which many AEW fans have been eagerly anticipating. While this is the only match officially announced for the April 21st pay-per-view, it will not headline the show. Bryan Danielson confirmed that this match won't be the main event when speaking with Sports Illustrated Fan Nation, noting me and Will Ospreay won't be main eventing at AEW Dynasty. That tells you that type of that I have an inkling of some of the things that are lined up, and I think people are going to be really excited. The only bout confirmed for AEW Dynasty is the finals of the AEW Tag Team Championship tournament, which will determine the next set of title holders. A tournament is currently underway to crown the next AEW Tag Team Champions after Sting and Darby Allin relinquished their gold following Sting's retirement match at the Revolution pay-per-view. For the latest updates, and news, stories, on AEW, you can talk about right here. But what are your guys' thoughts to Danielson's statement? They're indeed not going to main event, even though it's going to be perhaps the biggest match of the night, but it won't be the main event. Which could go to either the AEW Tag Team Championships or even the AEW World Championship if Samoa Joe is going to be defending that title against Swerve Strickland, which I believe that could main event, or if they have a bigger match that's going to main event the show. But I cannot think of any other bigger match other than Swerve Strickland versus Samoa Joe, or even Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson until now. With Danielson speak, and if he was lying, why would he say it on a legitimate what's that sports podcast, which was on Sports Illustrated, which that's the biggest sports journalistic corporation. So they're going to try to hear something that's more realistic, more of honesty and truthfulness. So yeah, I don't think he's lying. And do you believe Brian? But I'm gonna ask you guys: are you gonna be believing the American Dragon if he's telling the truth, or he could be playing a trick on us? I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see if it really is gonna main event Dynasty, or it's gonna be in the opener, or even in the middle of the show, in the mid card spot. Which some might shame AEW and most specifically Tony Khan to not main event the show, because even if he knows that it's going to main event the show, even if it's going to be the most highlighted match of the night, why not put it as the number one best match of this big show, which is not really big, only just like a B plus pay-per-view, like WWE, for an example, like Payback, Fastlane, or even Backlash. Yeah, but at the same time, it's still it's just we do not see pay-per-views like this every month from All Elite Wrestling until they got more and more bigger and they start bringing in bigger stars, whether if they're from New Japan, WWE, TNA, or even I'll say CMLL, as of late, along with the new signings from wrestlers that just got from New Japan, whether if they were WWE or not. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what's your thoughts on this matter. And are you disappointed that's not going to main event the pay-per-view, or are you going to be more understanding? This could be because they got another match that could possibly be bigger than this, which I am saying Swerve and Joe and Danielson and Ospreay are tied as candidate main eventers in my prediction. But now I was thinking more likely that Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe's going to main event, and if not going to main event Ospreay and Danielson, at least put it in the opener, even though it's a bit too soon, but it's something that will make it more even special, and this is the next best thing to the main event. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. But yeah, let me know about my suggestion in the comments as well. But let's move on to the third biggest company in America, which is TNA, but several former champions finished up with the Nashville-based company. Several notable stars have now finished up with TNA Wrestling amid recent speculation about these wrestlers' next move. It was previously reported that the contracts of Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns are expected to be up there up this month. There had been a lot of rumors swirling about their potential departures, with the duo booked for an independent event that clashes with the April 21st TNA TV taping. Mike Johnson of PW Insider now reports that the TNA roster gave Shelley and Sabin send, a send off backstage during Saturday's March 23rd TNA tape in Philadelphia. The report noted that this emotional send off happened following the duo's final appearance for the promotion during the taping. Ahead of their contracts expiring, they will reportedly both be free again, but appear to have finished up appearances for TNA Wrestling. Fightful Select added that the door has been kept open for Shelley and Sabin regarding potential returns. Although, as of now, I aren't expected back in TNA. Alex Shelley is the most recent former TNA World Champion, with Shelley dropping the gold to Moose at Hard to Kill. What's it? Hard to Kill. Like in January. Sabin is also a former TNA World Champion, winning the gold back in 2013. Shelley and Sabin have won a number of other titles between them, including the X Division Championship and the AEW Tag Team titles together. PW Insider also reports that Killer at March 8th Sacrifice pay-per-view is TNA is reportedly set to begin teasing a new tag team partner for Kelly's previous partner Masha Slamovich in the week ahead. Kelly and Slamovich notably dropped the TNA Women's Knockout Tag Team Championship to Danny Luna and Jordy Threat at Sacrifice 2024 at the beginning of this month, of course. For the latest news and updates, TNA have right here onto this link. But what are your thoughts on to these TNA, these guys from TNA? The Motor City Machine Guns leaving the Nashville, Tennessee-based company, and where do you think they're going to be landing at? Do you think that an AEW run or even a WWE run will be possible for the tag team, or do you think they're going to go somewhere else? Let me know in the comments down below. Anything's possible for these guys. Like if I guess the whoever comes at them first, they're going to be signing with, unless they do not agree to sign with the company for some reason. But I just cannot see them turn out any opportunity. They seem like the guys that would take any opportunity to wrestle for any company that comes their way. Something that's going to something that's going to convince them, whether if it's the pay or even the company that they want to wrestle for, even if it's a low offer, they'll probably would take it. But if it's low, like it wouldn't seem low when it comes to of getting paid, like in general. But let me know in the comments down below on what your thoughts onto this matter. And it's probably only a matter of time if we're going to be calling them WWE superstars or AEW wrestlers. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. Let's move on and talk about Andrade next, which it says, what's his WWE's next match? What Andrade's next match is, and it has been confirmed. The next WWE match for the former AEW star Andrade, following his return to the company, has been officially announced. Andrade has competed in one Raw match since his return, into the company, since returning at the Royal Rumble. A short match against Apollo Crews, which was on the March 4th episode of Raw, the day after AEW Revolution, and they even referenced it, and they said congratulations to Sting in having his final retirement match, which is pretty cool of WWE, mentioning their former wrestlers, even though they're in another company, which they need to be doing more often. Which some tells me they're going to continue to be doing that, whether if they left in good or bad terms. Which Sting then left in bad terms is more likely, like with him leaving in good terms, but it was just to go out there and be in the company that'll let him wrestle, which WWE did not let him do. So after getting injured by Seth Rollins in that WWE World Championship match in 2015. And then 5 years later, when his contract expired, he then left to go to AEW back in 2020. That and winter is coming in December. But anyways, it said right here on this week's show, the Judgment Day, who have been scouting Andrade, informed that would he would be in action on next week's show, though his opponent was not revealed. In a new video, from Raw GM Adam Pearce at today's WWE live event, Pearce announced that Andrade will face off against IR on tomorrow's show. He also announced that Sami Zayn will face Big Bronson Reed on the show as well. Jey Uso will face off again with Shinsuke Nakamura. And you can see the video right here, which they posted on their X account. Okay, why is that not working? Okay, I gotta find it. What's wrong with this? Okay, I cannot find it, but what are your thoughts onto this? And do you think that they should have authority figures making appearances on the on live event shows, or do you think they should just stick with being on the weekly shows? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, it's very interesting, like to have them announce this on on yesterday. Was it yesterday's house show that they mentioned this? Like, hopefully they do continue this tab more often because it makes the house shows more interesting to go to. Like watching Raw or SmackDown, like Raw or SmackDown in on your like at the like in the arena that's in the arena, which they would show like the next day exclusively on Peacock. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts in the comments down below. But let's move on to Dominic Mysterio response to The Rock making wrestling cool and exciting again. With Dirty Dominic Mysterio has responded to claims from The Rock that pro wrestling is cool and exciting again thanks to him. WWE's final boss, The Rock, recently ruffled some feathers when he came that when he claimed that wrestling was cool again thanks to his presence. And this was nothing that seemingly irked at least one WWE star, L.A. Knight, who recently fired back at the statement. However, benefiting be befitting, befitting his current heel character, Rock has not backed down one bit from this stint. Like in fact, he's now doubled down on it, posting to Twitter. The Great One not only reiterated his earlier comments, but also made further claims on the impact his presence is having on WWE. According to Rock, he has not only made wrestling cool, but also unpredictable, calling himself the most electrifying, dis, disrupt, disruptive, and hottest heel in 20 years. The final boss wrote, along with a message directed at Cody, like Mama Rose, like in the Cody Crybabies, like The Rock has made professional wrestling cool and exciting again. The Rock has made pro wrestling unpredictable, and he's changed the game and raised the bar again. The Rock is the most electrifying uh, disruptive and distinctive and hottest heel professional wrestling has seen in the last 20 years. And he also said, like, you're welcome, F off, crybabies. And then also added Mama Rhodes, like The Rock has a very special belt being made just for you. Like your tears, Cody's blood, my hands. I'll see you soon, Mama Rhodes. Final boss. And then put the hashtag of Brooklyn Raw Monday and April 1st, which Monday Night Raw will indeed be in Brooklyn, New York, and also be airing on April 1st, which will be the go home show of the go home show before WrestleMania, which they're gonna be calling it WrestleMania Raw, I believe. But anyways, one star who's also certainly no stranger to heel, no stranger to heel heat, and that is none other than the current Judgment Day member, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And while he decided against posting a worded response, he much rather sent a GIF uh, GIF to tell the full story to tell the full story of his opinion. Dom posted a famous GIF of a younger Rock rolling his eyes during backstage WWE promo, seemingly less than amused with the Rock blowing his own try blowing on his own trumpet yet again. You can check out Dom's response down below, which you can see right here, and him with the Rock rolling his eyes. And this looked very hilarious. And what are your thoughts on Dominic Mysterio's displeasure of The Rock saying he's the biggest heel in all of professional wrestling and in modern day as well? Which Dominic Mysterio did not see any see any amusing anything amusing from the Brahma Bull in the final boss. And he just said that he wrote his up that he's indeed the guy that's the most hated heel in all professional wrestling, which he's not lying, because every time when he show up in the ring arena, he gets boos all around, sea of boos all around the arena. And ever since he joined the Judgment Day and stabbed his father in the back, because Rey Mysterio has so many fans and they do not like it when someone will turn on the mass underdog superstar. And then they started showing their displeasure to Dominic Mysterio, even though I just said that about him. I did not appreciate what The Rock The Rock said about him being the biggest bad guy in WWE right now, which that's more likely in either Dominic Mysterio or maybe Roman Reigns' department. Even though he recently turned heel and joined his cousin into the alliance, but I would agree with Dominic Mysterio in a way, because he gets more boos than The Rock do. Even though he does get boos, especially for him calling the fans Cody crybabies, like for choosing the American Nightmare over him to face Roman Reigns for his championship. But anyways, let me know in the comments down below, and do you think he's going to reference this on tomorrow night's Monday Night Raw if he ever get handed to a microphone? Let me know down below. But fans showed their hatred onto the self-proclaimed hardened criminal, and by booing it as loud as they can. And even Triple H, when he was in the ring, with Adam Pearce, I believe, when he introduced Nick Aldis as the SmackDown general manager, he was like, wow, this really isn't the fake crowd noise that's breaking the fourth wall, of WWE's previous years, of using fake crowd reactions just to get baby faces over, if the fans think otherwise, or even a heel over by getting booed, just to make it look like it's the fans booing, but the rest, the fans booing, but when the wrestling fans used to boo the baby faces and cheer the heels, and then they try to have the fake crowd reaction just to make it the other way around, with with the heels getting booed and the faces get cheered. But yeah, that was obviously wasn't the case. And nowadays they don't really use like fake crowd noises because like WWE doing a very good job with their booking methods, like with making the heels getting booed and then the baby faces getting cheered because they choose the right guys to make the good guys and they're getting cheered while the arrogant a-holes are the ones that are getting the B-double-O treatment. Like, especially Dominic Mysterio. Like, and he's doing a very good job playing his role as the most hated bad guy in all of professional wrestling / sports entertainment. But yeah, let me know in the comments below who you think's the biggest bad guy in WWE. Do you think it's the final boss or the ex-con of the Judgment Day? Please leave your comments right down below. But let's move on to the next news, and it's about the WWE star questions Seth Rollins having multiple WrestleMania 40 feuds. Oh, yes, sir. I was going to say that. You need the checkers. I'm about to walk over here. Okay, yes, sir. Good. Yeah, that's fine. But anyways, yeah. WWE star has questioned a logic of Seth Rollins attempting to juggle multiple feuds heading into WrestleMania 40 in what is a first for WrestleMania since WWE decided to make the switch to a 2-night yearly event. Three different stars will all perform double duty like over the weekend, and it says right here, Cody and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns will all compete on both WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday on April 6th and 7th. With all three involved, like in both tag team match on night one alongside The Rock and in big world championship matches at night two. However, unlike Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, like who will both potentially have some what's that fatitude, what's that the fatitude fat fatitude fatitude fade to fatigue like heading into their undisputed WWE Universal Championship match on night two. Seth Rollins will have to instead face off with a very fresh Drew McIntyre. Rollins' attention being advertised away from his world heavyweight championship challenger has been something McIntyre has attempted to warn him about, but both on TV and on social media. Now, in a new post, McIntyre has taken some satirical shots at Rollins' situation using a clip from The Simpsons to summarize like how he feels things are going for the Visionary. Posting a clip of Bart Simpson attempting to play 3 games of chess at once at all all of which quickly in checkmate against him. McIntyre wrote on caption Seth feuding with Roman and Rock at the same time, like although McIntyre remains laser focused on Rollins and winning his first world championship in front of a live audience at WrestleMania 40, his own attention may in fact the deviate on tomorrow night's WWE Raw, March 25th, due to the TV return of CM Punk. McIntyre has continuously grown Punk on TV and social media since Punk tore his triceps like at 2024 Royal Rumble. So perhaps we may see the two come face to face in Chicago, Illinois, the hometown of the Second City Savior, or the what's that the or the what's that the what's that Chicago made star, or the straight edge superstar? That's what I should say. But anyways, let's see this video of him playing chess 3 times in a row, with Rollins comparing Rollins to this.
Hey, that little boy is playing 3 games at once. Checkmate.
Which he's referencing that he's going to win all those matches, both against The Rock and Roman at night 1 and to Drew McIntyre second night in a row. And do you think that will happen at WrestleMania with him doing triple duties, more likely double duties, with him playing triple chess, metaphorically, of course? And then do you think Seth Rollins going to win all those matches, or do you think he's going to win one of those matches, which will be at night 1 and then night 2, or even vice versa? Because we never know who could possibly walk out of Mania is victorious, even if it is the obvious prediction. We do not know for sure unless that's we don't know that for sure unless we watch the show of shows, which that's the best way to know who exactly is going to be the victor and who's going to be exactly the one that's going to be taking the big L. But even if they take a big L, they're going to be looking good in defeat, because at WrestleMania that means that you made it as the biggest star in the company, and you're not just losing on a very random episode of Raw or SmackDown. And it sure beats losing in those stages. Well, I mean, you would not expect to lose at the show of shows, so it's best for you to be the winner rather than the loser. But either way, I hope I give these men the best, and hopefully they can whoever walks out as world heavyweight champion will show their point of being the champion for the people. And I really do want to see Drew McIntyre do get his opportunity, his moment of winning the world championship, at this time in front of a live crowd, something that he's been trying to do for the last 3-4 years. But he failed to do so because there was a health crisis. But when he tried to win the title right back, whether if it's against Bobby Lashley or Roman Reigns, or even before Roman Reigns, Big E, he always come up short every single time. And do you think that will happen again, or do you think this time he'll be lucky and he'll finally get to achieve his dream like he's been looking for the last few years? But let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on that. And do you think, what are your thoughts on this hilarious comparison of Seth Rollins being like Bart Simpson on an episode where him trying to play 3 games of chess at once against 3 different opponents? Which is very hilarious. I don't know how Drew McIntyre does it like this. That's why he's the greatest star of all, one of the greatest stars of all time in WWE. And let's hope he continues being the star that he is. And I wish him the best of luck and I'm not sure if he'll win or not. Well, I'm not sure. Say not. I'll say I'm not sure if he'll win, like exactly, like it's a guarantee. But I can say that I'm predicting him to win because this is his moment. This is his shot. I mean, Rollins had a very great run as well, heavyweight champion, and for the past year. But I think it's time for a new champion and for a change in the Raw's main event scene. And that man is none other than Drew McIntyre. And I can feel in those shoes of being the biggest and the most charismatic champion in WWE. But let's move on to the next news, which is more news about The Rock. But he sends a message ahead of next WWE appearance, which says right here, The Rock has sent a message ahead of his next confirmed WWE appearance on the April 1st edition of Monday Night Raw. With less than 2 weeks to go until his first WWE match in 8 years, WWE's final boss, like The Rock, has sent a message to fans at home, and more specifically, the people's the people in Brooklyn, and the people in Brooklyn, New York, I should say. After a string of constant appearances on SmackDown, the People's Champion will make his first appearance of this current run on Monday Night Raw on April 1st. Brooklyn's Barclays said, it's unclear, it's unclear what the Rock's definitive definite plans are for the show, but expect expect him to include his WrestleMania 40 opponents Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, taking to Twitter to hype up the appearance. The Rock wrote, "The final boss will electrify Brooklyn on Monday Night Raw." Like now, sit back, shut your mouths, and enjoy the ride. The Rock is taking all your candy asses on one night only. Hashtag Brooklyn, hashtag Raw, hashtag The Rock. Although we a whole have a whole week to wait until we see Rock on Raw. Luckily, tomorrow night's episode of Raw, like March 25th, also has a star attraction making a special appearance. That is, of course, the current injured CM Punk, who has been advertised to appear in his hometown of Chicago, Illinois, for the broadcast. For more of the latest WWE news, follow this follow this link. But here's the post right here on his X account. With him advertising this with 2 weeks away.
Sit there and shut your mouth and enjoy the ride that the Rock is taking on. You smell what the final boss is cooking.
And what are your thoughts on this video? And here's the post right here on his X account. Now, let me know in the comments down below what's your thoughts onto this post and this video of his advertisement from WWE of his next appearance in WWE television will indeed be April 1st of on Monday Night Raw when they're live at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. I do think he's going to be the most electrifying man of the show, and do you think he's going to make the show the most electrifying show of the week of wrestling overall in WWE as well? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, like this article said on Wrestle Talk, I expect him to bring up everything about Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins into his promo, continuing his insults as the crybaby Cody, and then also the crybaby Cody and the clown emoji Seth Rollins. That's right, yeah, that's what he calls him. But let me know in the comments below about your thoughts of The Rock making his return in the Barclays Center on Monday Night Raw. Let's move on to the next news, which is we got WWE star addresses new look getting ruined. And it says right here, like WWE star Naomi has addressed Asuka spraying mist on her face on the week's edition of Friday Night SmackDown. Naomi faced off against the current WWE Women's Champion Io Sky on the March 22nd edition of Friday Night SmackDown. After Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane and Asuka distracted Naomi, leading to Sky picking up the victory. Damage Control continued their beatdown after the match. During the beatdown, Asuka sprayed green mist, more likely blue mist, because it was blue rather than green, into Naomi's face to blind her. Naomi has now shared a photo of Asuka misting her, like tweeting, "This gear and wig was too much for Asuka. She had to ruin it." In a smirking emoji, and then she did hashtag global and hashtag SmackDown. Bianca Belair did run down to attempt to save Naomi, but the numbers were ultimately too much. Naomi has taken to social media to apologize to Bianca, which you can read more about, which it shows right here. That says right here, but not here, but she did apologize to her on social media, but it's right here on this link. But I'm gonna show you this post right here. After saying this, Bayley has been attacked by Io Sky backstage, before their match with Naomi, explaining her absence. Throughout the rest of the segment, Bayley will challenge for Sky's Women's Championship at WrestleMania 40. For the latest news, and updates in WrestleMania 40, which you can click on right here. But here's the tweet from Naomi of her ruining her outfit and her wig. And what's your thoughts onto that? With Asuka spat the mist right into her face, and clearly messed up her outfit. and hopefully she can get it cleaned out and be good as and get it fixed and good as new sooner rather than later. Because yeah, this is yeah, I guess I don't say not that unfortunate, but it kind of is in a way for Naomi probably spending a lot of money to get it designed. Right, and then not and then it's no and then what will be the point of that? Like if it's gonna be ruined by a certain empress that she used to be friends with. Well, in storyline she's been friends with, but that doesn't mean that that she's what's that? That doesn't mean that she's not friends with her anymore in real life. And hopefully I don't get criticized more because of making a joke about her on Instagram, and it wasn't even offensive. Like I can see if it was offensive, but it wasn't. Like it's supposed to be a joke about her about her looking attractive, but I made my own joke about I don't see no attraction. Well, maybe because she's not my wrestling crush. Like she's not one of my wrestling crushes. But I don't think I even have any wrestling crushes because I'm not like those kind of wrestling marks that has one. Like I'm just not like that. Like it's kind of ridiculous. I'm thinking to myself like, what's the point of having a crush on them? Like if I'm not gonna be with neither of them. Well, like even if I do know them, I'm not sure if I would be in a relationship with them. Obviously not, but you get the point. But yeah. But anyways, yeah, like but yeah, hopefully I don't get offended. Like it's all just a joke. Like I don't have nothing against the Empress of Tomorrow. Like it's all part of the act of going along with this gimmick of her being a heel. Even if she's not playing as a heel, like just pretend to be like those be like a naive fan that thinks that she really is a bad guy, but laugh on the matter of pretending to do so along with the laughing emojis. But anyways, yeah, let's hope that won't happen again. The next time I make a funny, uh, good laughing joke like to a wrestler, like even if it may sound like politely insulting, but that's because it's all part of the joke, not really the case. But let's move on to the next wrestling news and let's talk about next up, we got some Triple H news now. As like in WWE writer, like and we got some news about Triple H, I should say, is the former WWE writer fires back after former WWE star criticizes creative. And WWE creative member Brian Gewirtz has fired back on a former WWE star criticizing Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns segment on SmackDown. With Reigns set to defend his WWE Undisputed Universal title against Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, the two stars met in the ring this past Friday in a face-to-face off segment. While both stars initially promised they'd be alone, the segment concluded, I should say, concluded with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso in, enter, entering before Jay Uso and Seth Rollins sided with Rhodes to even the odds. Some fans took to Twitter following the segment to criticize the moment for not being that eventful. One one Twitter user tagged Gewirtz, like who who represents The Rock in WWE creative meetings, like in a post by a former WWE star, Val Venus, who called out WWE's airheads. Like writers like following this segment, like retweeting the tweet, users post tagging him under Val Venus. Tweets Gwartz wrote the Gwartz word in response. I'd I'd sooner take wrestling advice from one of their many porn bot followers, porn bot followers. And he continued, they know as much about the business as you, and unlike you, they actually work for a living. A previously reported Gewurz is currently the voice representing The Rock in the WWE creative process. Brian Gewurz is a former WWE head writer who notably worked for Rock's $7 production company as the CVP of development, head of Rock facing off against Reigns, Rhodes, and facing off against Rhodes and Rollins with Roman Reigns, I should say, are slated to WrestleMania 40. Gewurz previously publicly criticized a line from more about right here. And then here's the post right here to the fans' response on this X account. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what your thoughts onto that. And do you think Brian Gewurz had every right to call out those fans of criticizing the WWE segment, or do you think that the fans have a point on this, but they're saying it in a negative manner? Let me know in the comments down below. But I don't. I'm not sure what exactly who's right onto this matter, but I would say maybe, like I said before, and I'll say it again on my SmackDown review, it wasn't like it didn't grow that much fire into the segment, and it could have been a little more better, but it was still pretty decently good. To follow things up for WrestleMania 40, even though they didn't add nothing to their promos, that could be more electrifying, I guess I could say, but at the same time, I think it could have been better, even whether if it was a brawl or not, or even add something interesting. I don't know what was missing, but it just didn't feel like it should have ended the show, I would say, because it was just too generic of a promo battle. They could have done better. They could have done better, but at the same time, I guess you could say they did. I guess you could say they did made sense on the promos, but it seemed like it should have opened the show. I guess that's the thing. It shouldn't have ended the show. It should have opened up the show. I think that's where I'm trying to come from. But I don't know exactly exactly what was missing to be the exact. But yeah, I'm seeing exactly what the vibe of but was this like if we've been hearing this from weeks, like with Reigns criticizing them being the biggest number two, like even though like it's not an insult, it's a compliment. Like everybody would be lucky if they get the number two spot, like not number one, like which none of the fans or anybody in the locker room are not in that level as Cody Rhodes is in. Like he's only second best when it comes to Roman Reigns, or even Cody Rhodes was like. Was like, are you sure you can trust your tag partner? Which I guess he that was the only highlight that was on the segment, but that's about it. But anyways, but yeah, he also said like Seth Rollins hates him more than he hates Cody, which I believe he said before, and then not like specifically, he must have said it like in a subliminal message kind of way. And then Roman Reigns also obviously said that he does not respect him at all, like which we all know about. But even though that's the whole point of being face to face to him, saying some words that are not so pleasant to his opponent, because you're not supposed to say that if you do not like the guy, at least in storyline, because y'all building things up to the biggest match of the year and the biggest show of the company's history, I guess you could say. But anyways, but yeah, but it was in a generic kind of way, like it was too like basic. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you agree. But even for that, I didn't criticize them and go on Twitter about it, which I don't understand why some of the fans do that. Like, if you're not gonna get no benefits off of talking trash about the main event segment, like what's your point of even criticizing? But even if I was offered the benefits of doing it, I still wouldn't do that. Even though I think it was a bit too mediocre, but at the same time, it was still an entertaining show to watch. Like, just to build things up. I try to stay as the positive Pete that I am, just like my fellow YouTuber Simon, that I'm. And you should always stay positive, because that's the whole point of watching the show, is be entertained as a wrestling fan. And you want to see more of what's going on the show, like when they keep continuing to go on every single week. And them keep you tune in and leaving cliffhangers, and also and build things up for a future big potential match, like WrestleMania, just like how Cody and Roman was doing it. Like, that's the number one thing I'll give them. Like, they're making sure they keep things try to keep things fresh, even though it's in a too basic way, but it's still something that's watchable to watch on TV, and nothing cringy about it. But it's just something that you would come up with like on your own. Like even if you're not a professional, like you could come up with a promo line, just like what the American Nightmare and the Tribal Chief come up with. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and let's hope that next week's SmackDown will be better than they have a better main event than this week. But I'm not trying to talk trash on it, just give my opinion on the matter. But let's hope it. Yeah, but let's hope it will be a very good one, and a more I'll say a bit more remarkable. I'll say to be on my honest opinion. But other than that, like, they still doing an impressive job. Like, like they're making it more absolutely. They're making it still absolutely watchable and more entertaining in a way. Just for them hyping up this match, what they're going to have 2 weeks away. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, which we got. New Japan Bullet Club member says he has retired. NJPW star and Bullet Club member Alex Coffin Coughlin has taken to social media to announce his retirement. Coughlin took to Twitter on Sunday, March 24th, which is today, of course, to state that he's retired, not noting that if noting that it sucks. He wrote, "Yeah, I'm retired and it sucks now. Leave me the F alone. Actually, I have some merch and gear to sell still, so don't F off just yet." Coughlin didn't provide any more details on his announcement. He last wrestled for JPW on the February 11th, the New Beginning in Osaka show, representing the Bullet Club, War Dogs against the United Empire in their 10-man steel cage bout. His his most recent match saw him compete in tag team action at the NYWC independent event in Farmingville, New York, on February 24th, a month ago. Which is the same night that Elimination Chamber was on. Even though Elimination Chamber was down under, and they had their match ever since like early morning of the show. Let's continue talking about Coughlin. About Coughlin, where his wrestling career began in 2018, which that's too early to retire if he just got started wrestling like half a decade ago. But only my opinion, of course. Maybe he didn't find this as a full dream career because he probably have in his profession in his life. So I'm not really gonna judge him. I'm saying if you're gonna be a full-time wrestler, it's not really wise to retire early and then 6 years after joining the wrestling business. Unless if he wants to do this for a short stint and then do something else, then that's very understandable. But anyways, ahead of joining the inaugural class of the NJPW Los Angeles dojo later this year, Coughlin trained along with Clark Connors and Carl Fredericks, which is WWE Eddie Thorpe, under what's it called, and then under Kaori Shibata ahead of him wrestling as a New Japan Pro Wrestling Young Lion. Alex went on to hold the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships alongside Gabe Kidd, with the duo winning the gold in July 2023 and holding the titles for 97 days. And here's the post right here on their X account. And what are your thoughts on to this? On to Coughlin's not there, his Twitter account, my apologies. And what are your thoughts on Coughlin retiring for those New Japan Pro Wrestling stars that knew him and was a part of the Bullet Club War Dogs from the past couple years? Let me know in the comments down below. And do you think it was too early for him to retire? And what's your thoughts on what's your reasons why he retired in pro wrestling after being a part of the business for the past 6 years? Let me know right down in the comments below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is next up. We got some AEW star reacts to The Rock using the Final Boss nickname, like before WWE's before WWE even created that for The Rock. And AEW star Serena Deeb, let's say it right here. AEW star Serena Deeb has recalled using that certain name before, like The Rock recently refer to himself with the same term on WWE TV. On March 13th, the Rock took to social media to hype up an upcoming appearance, calling himself the Final Boss. The This has now been established as the Rock's new nickname, with Cody Rhodes recently drawing attention to the term in a promo on March 18th. Edition of WWE Raw during her appearance on High Spots signed it live. Serena Deeb calling herself the Final Boss on the March 2nd edition of AEW Collision. When a fan asked Deeb to sign something from the Final Boss of AEW, Deeb said, "Funny thing, I said that, like the Final Boss, like on AEW Collision, and then following week, I don't even know if I can say this. Well, I can say whatever. He stole it." Like, while she was laughing while repeating the co-host saying the nickname was stolen in the hilarious fashion. Someone took it, and you guys would know who he is. The Rock recently addressed a report about him in WWE, claiming that the report was full of complete horse sugar honey iced tea, not the sweet, refreshing kind, because I'm not sure if horses can make iced tea, but I'm coming from, but or even add sugar and honey. Let me add on Serenity comments of like during that signing, and recalling that she called herself the Final Boss like weeks before The Rock even came up with that nickname. Do you think right? And I think she might have, and we clear reference of calling out the upcoming signing of Mercedes Moné on AEW when when she when she made her appearance on AEW big business edition of Dynamite, I believe. Yeah. And then she was. We thought that she was building things up between a feud with her, because she surpassed him, and well, except for Tombstone Storm, of course, and she needed to find new faces that's not on the AEW women's roster, which we finally found. Now she's officially all elite. We could possibly see him in a potential feud down the line, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, now think of it. I think she did use that term, but nobody didn't really pay attention much about it. I hardly did. Like when I was reviewing research about that, Serena calling herself the Final Boss. And do you think that that I accidentally copied off the professor of women's professional wrestling of AEW? Let me know in the comments down below. which I'm not sure if it's if she could, but yeah, but recalled it from the beginning of the month. And do you think that she's going to? And do you think that she's and blaming The Rock for? I don't think that was WWE's Shayna Baszler was booked for GCW's Bloodsport event. Josh Bart Josh Barnett has commented on Shayna Baszler's upcoming Bloodsport. How he was able to book the WWE star as not Bar, yeah, Barnett's X on Twitter, but now I don't understand now. But anyway, an event as part of GCW's collective on on uh, on April 4th, while Shayna Baszler to be the perfect fit for Bloodsport, a show which that hosts matches in rings with no ropes, like with victory achieved through a submission or knockout. Many were surprised that WWE was willing to let another company use one of their stars during WrestleMania 40 week. Speaking on the Under the Ropes podcast, or Under the Ring podcast, not that ropes, that didn't even make any sense. Under the Ring podcast, Josh Barnett credited his relationship with people in WWE for making Baszler's upcoming appearance a possibility. He said, I guess the earliest way to describe it is just through my relationship with people. Their WWE, that's really what it comes down to. And with anybody when speaking of a promotion, you are always going to want if you're going to do anything like outside of it, like you want a certain level of trust and consideration given to you, and hard to lend your toys out when there's so much money put into them and the product itself. In general, of course, like we see cross promotion happening about there in the world of wrestling, like, but it's really a big deal when you think about all of different things involved with it, and the value of some of the athletes that are going back and forth, but fortunately through relationships I cultivated over the years, like something like having Shayna Baszler at GCW Bloodsport is it's a reality now. And I'm just super happy and honored to be able to do it. And I know that Shayna going to going to do fantastic. I should know I've been training her for her entire career, which that explains why he asked permission for WWE to bring her in for this Bloodsport event during WrestleMania week on and for the extreme for this extreme extreme Florida wrestling promotion. A A previous report indicated that the decision to have Baszler compete at Bloodsport was made by none other than WWE's Chief Content Officer Triple H. This was a tremendously great idea, considering his the from his previous like for his previous what's that for his previous working relationship with the Queen of Spades. Let me know in the comments down below. And him being most likely the reason why she's a successful fighter, like what if it's in MMA or in wrestling or anything of the sort. Like let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, and thanks to him asking for permission and for Triple H agreeing with Slim, not Slim. I'm thinking of the girl that Baszler's gonna fight Barnett terms of using Baszler at the that has relation that have AEW wrestlers mostly wrestle in like what's most likely John Moxley usually wrestle at. But it's a totally different WWE, which they'll be willing to do business with other companies if if they have positive feedback with one another. But let me know in the comments down below what your matter like with Baszler being on there. Do you think Baszler's gonna beat? Um, says right here. Well, I remember her first name, but what's her last name? Masha. Masha, yeah. Which rhymes with Tasha Sasha. But anyway, yeah, Masha Slamovich. And do you think that she's gonna win, or do you think Baszler's gonna win? Which, yeah, Masha Slamovich is currently wrestling for TNA. And yeah, WWE's no stranger when it comes to having women from TNA in their company, like which they had even Mickey James made a return for one night only a couple years ago at the Women's Royal Rumble at that time in 2022 when she was currently the TNA Knockouts champion or the Impact Knockouts champion when it was known as Impact, just Impact at the time before they made a return to the Impact. I mean, went back to TNA. I mean, when it was still Impact, I should say. And they did the same with the current TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. Like when she made an appearance, she even embraced with Naomi, reuniting with her former colleague of TNA. And she was the one that beat her. And WWE even acknowledged this and mentioned it during the Royal Rumble match, which they said Jordynne Grace was the one that beat Naomi for the WWE. Not the TNA Knockout Championship. But that was when Naomi was known as her real name Trinity rather than her WWE name. And it seems like we're gonna have a WWE wrestler that's gonna interact with another, interact inside a square circle, but without the ropes. Except this time in a GCW ring against a different TNA wrestler. And do you think this had something to do with TNA have some kind of also have? And do you also think this had anything to do with TNA, like with their working relationships with Endeavor, like them owning the rights of their streaming service, or do you think it was just because of Josh Barnett, like asking for permission, and it was just a near coincidence that TNA allowed Masha Slamovich to be in this match at Bloodsport. But yeah, let me know right down below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is and we got some WWE Hall of Famer response to what says no, why did interrupt? Anyway, response to being Kenny Omega's favorite wrestler. A WWE Hall of Famer responded to AEW star Kenny Omega, naming him as his favorite wrestler of all time. Kenny Omega has recently taken up some streaming, making appearances on his Twitter channel and interacted with fans. On his latest stream, Omega revealed that his favorite wrestler was former WWE star Kurt Angle. The the compliment was not simply that Angle was Omega's favorite, but moreover that Kurt Angle was the most complete wrestler of all time. Kurt Angle responded to repost a new clip of the stream, writing, "Much respect, Kenny. Hope to meet you one day." And but the hashtag is true, which is his catchphrase, of course. To which Kenny responded with his own frequently used meme face, like over a frequently used name of Kurt Angle facing writing. Game recognizes game. One of one thing like that Omega noted as reason why he enjoyed the work of Angle so much is that he hasn't he had he had must say haven't wasn't with a W, that he wasn't afraid to be a silly to be a silly something that Kenny said he also tries to do embodied. Omega remained out of in-ring action, like after required hospitalization due to potentially life-threatening driver uh, uh, ticuitis, diverticulitis in December 2023. You can keep up with latest updates on this link, but here's the post right here from Omega, and with Kurt Angle reacting to it on X. And what are your thoughts on Kenny Omega admitting that he's a Kurt Angle fan, and then much more of the delight with Kurt Angle, like responding in a very in a respectful I'll say in a respectful, heartwarming way of saying like much respect and hope to meet you one day. And do you think they will meet up or even a wrestling convention or a meet and greet or whatever? Let me know in the comments down below. And do you think we will see the two wrestling icons? Like, do you see? Will we see them two wrestling icons face each other in a match, in a dream match, with the cleaner taking on the Olympic gold medalist? Which that would be a huge, that would be a huge match. Whatever company it may be, and whether if it's in a pro wrestling or even in an independent wrestling company, like whoever at a whatever wrestling promoter that's interested in booking a match like this, like please do. Even though Kenny Omega's under a contract in AEW and Kurt Angle's under a WWE Legends contract, so that probably won't happen unless WWE and AEW will agree to do some kind of partnership, which is still a possibility, even though it's not going to be anytime soon. But you cannot rule out anything. It's wrestling. Anything is possible. But yeah, even if it's gonna be in the next, but yeah, let me know anything about this matter in the comments down below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. And again, before I continue, I want to wish well wishes to Omega, and hopefully he's getting more and more better, like recovering from his diverticulitis, and hopefully, yeah, he'll be back in the ring soon. But in the meantime, get well soon. Yeah, get well soon, my man. But anyways, let's move on to the next wrestling news, which is WWE star continues in impressive injury rehab journey. And it says right here. Okay, I guess I'll end it on here on this wrestling news, which is WWE star. The current WWE star continues impressive injury rehab journey. About the WWE about this WWE superstar Charlotte Flair has continued to show off her impressive rehabilitation journey after having suffering an injury requiring surgery. Posting another impressive workout video on social media, Charlotte Flair continues to showcase her journey back to in-ring competition after suffering a major injury back in December, which which is set to appeal action since the Royal Rumble. During the Royal Rumble match, Punk tore his tricep muscle and also had have surgery. Punk had recently noted uh, Charlotte Flair is one of his rehab inspiration, even going so far as to call her his spirit which I remember hearing that from a fellow YouTuber. They're talking about this on one of a couple of days ago. But anyways, on her X account, with the Queen of Flair is is in the gym, like working out along with rehabilitating her leg. Like even though she injured it about a couple of months ago, and she's still working out like if she haven't got injured at all. It seems like she haven't been out of action from the last 3 months. Well, ever since like she's been out of action and been put on the shelf after suffering a I mean, guys, when she suffered that injury, like when she landed right on her leg, right onto the top rope on the left side, when she go for a suplex, which I think I pointed that out. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong if I didn't, but I remember she's grabbing onto her leg. I was like, hopefully she's doing okay, but unfortunately, she was. It's been reported that she's going to be out of action for the next 9 months. Hopefully, it'll be sooner than that, like at least 6 months, if not less. But I want to wish her the best of luck either way. Wish her the best of luck and well wishes, regardless on what's the what's the accurate results of recovery date, I should say, and let's hope it's a sooner one, which it could be at any day or any week or any month. She might miss WrestleMania. Let's hope that she won't miss too much action, and it doesn't mean she will miss the rest of 2024. Well, we could see her back maybe even before it's even the end of 2024. But let me know in the comments down below if you agree on that. And also, what's your thoughts CM Punk calling her his spirit animal? And do you think that he's meant to say spirit wrestler, or do you think that it's better to call it a spirit animal because regardless, it's a metaphoric statement rather than something realistic? Let me know in the comments down below about that as well. But I would much prefer to call if you want to call Shaw Fair a spirit inspiration, he should say a spirit wrestler, like of rehabilitating an injury that's going to keep the respective wrestlers out of action in WWE in the ring for many months to come. Let's hope it'll be lesser months to come. I should hope for but in the meantime, we're gonna be seeing them at the gym, and they're gonna keep giving us fan update on their social media accounts, which I always see on their Instagram stories. Like they're always working out. That's the number one thing I see them do is whether if they're curling, whether if they're on the treadmill, whether if they're on the stair climber workout machine, or what's that, or the like where they're pushing their legs, that workout, like the work their legs, or whatever workout to do, or even bench press or back press. But let me know in the comments down below, when do you think either of these wrestlers are going to be recovering? And I want to wish both Punk and Flair hope they're a speedy recovery, and hopefully they won't be on for long. And yeah, this is the end of the wrestling news video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And which one was your favorite out of this list? And which one and I'm not sure what would be my favorite out of this list. There's so many to choose from. I would say I'll say maybe the Drew McIntyre, what's it called? The Drew McIntyre's post when he what's that? Compare Seth Rollins to Bart Simpson. Like, he's like in 3 games of chess, 3 different games of chess against 3 different opponents at the same time. But he fell each time, which that's like I'm gonna say, like, you're gonna be wrestling 2 nights in a row doing double duties, only just to lose and no magic in vain on his side of the fence. But let me know in the comments below which one's your favorite. Let me know what's your thoughts on to that again on the episode of The Simpsons. But yeah, yes sir, man. That's the end of the wrestling news video. And if you like this video, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button. Hopefully you do. And if you were enjoying this channel, make sure to subscribe and click the bell notification icon bell. And like I say, enjoy. And if you want to watch more of my videos, please hit the subscribe and the bell notification icon bell. And it's free. You can change your mind later, like whenever you want. Like, it's a guarantee. But yeah, and you can be notified when I upload my latest videos. It can be on your notifications on your phone or whatever electronic device that you have that you're watching the video off of. Like, just make sure to click on the notification bar so you can get ready to watch this SNA podcast video and experience your time of me talking about the wrestling news video and what's going on in the wrestling world, whether if it's from WWE, AEW, or any other totally different wrestling company, whether that making it being like TNA or New Japan or even MLW, like, in that matter, but or anywhere of the sort. But whether if it's going on inside or outside the wrestling company, or even with the wrestlers itself, like, yeah, we're gonna be hearing a lot of stuff from the wrestling news on like from the likes of Wrestle Talk, and then Fightful, and Wrestling Inc. and Ringside News, and even what's it called? And even what's that? Sportskeeda, yeah, and WrestleZone. But yeah, and make sure to check out my next wrestling news tomorrow on March 25th, where I'll be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Fightful Select article. And also make sure to check out my Monday Night Raw review, which we're going to be seeing what's going to go down on the show, which has been announced that we're going to have matches like main event Jey Uso taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, and and Sami Zayn taking on Big Bronson Reed, which has been announced by the Raw general manager Adam Pearce, the GM of the Red brand, on Monday nights. And yeah. And again, yeah. Hope thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next time with some more SNA content. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin out. Bye bye, my SNA fans. See you guys tomorrow.